Well, folks, thanks for hopping in. It's going to be a short conversation tonight. I'm out in the pasture. I got my cows in the back. Got some babies, cows that got to get fed. We got to do chores here. Already temporarily blocked on TikTok. It looks like people don't like freedom of speech anymore. It looks like there is little tyrants out there that like to get you flagged, even though your posts don't go against the community playbook. You know, I didn't break any rules, nothing like that. Posting simple content about our history, historic content, and people are flagging that. You know, I think the people that don't like freedom of speech, the ones that really, I'm just going to say it, they're more on the left. They're totalitarian. If they don't like what you have to say, they're going to get you blocked. Red or blue. Neither. There's no two-party system in the United States. It's two sides of the same coin. But the one thing I do have to say about that is the very liberal, and I'm going to say the alt liberal. You call it the alt right, the alt liberal. Those are the folks that do more of the banning. Yeah, no, it's true. Here's the thing. I submit this to you, being 29. You got, on the left, you got the Democrats who are all for government assistance and government programs that are, quote, free to people, like welfare and this and that. But on the right, you got corporate welfare. You got places like Amazon who didn't pay taxes last year. So what's the difference? That's why I say it's the two sides of the same coin. You got people on the left that are pro-choice or abortion, but you got people on the right that are pro-military industrial complex where they go up, blow men, women, and children in their homes. It's two sides of the same coin. I am a conservative Christian libertarian, which means very minimal government. Very, very minimal government. So I can look at things critically from the outside looking in, and I can see the bad in both parties. But the one thing I do know, and that what I'm finding on social media in particular, is the people on the left that want to ban you, that they want to shut down dissent, they want to shut down freedom of speech. It is not the Republicans on the right doing that. They're the first ones to call you fascist, but yet they flag your content and they tell you to shut up. And they tell you that you're a racist when they don't have historical context of most of what they're even saying. So, you know, that's one of the things, being on the outside of the two-party system looking in, that is very clear to me. And that doesn't mean that I support Republicans any more or less than the Democrats. As a matter of fact, the whole thing is rigged. I mean, everybody knows it's rigged. And on the left, on the Democrat side, you know, Tulsi Gabbard, who should have gotten in, who should have been at least in the running, they had it rigged against her from the onset, from the beginning, so she couldn't even enter a lot of the debates. And then, of course, you had the big federal election, and there's a lot of stuff coming in about that. I'm not saying all of it was rigged in every state, but guys, it's been like this for many, many years. Eisenhower said, presidents are selected, not elected. And Eisenhower said that many, many years ago. The whole system is an illusion. It makes you think that you have choice when you don't have choice. And that's why I am very active at the local level. I am pushing and helping the Jonathan Wickman campaign here in Wisconsin to take back the governorship of Wisconsin from Tony Evers, who is an absolute moron, in plain words, and has done nothing good for this state whatsoever. So, I do put my actions where my words are. Jonathan Wickman is more of a libertarian type. He's running on the Republican ticket, but he is more of a libertarian where he wants to limit government and government control and regulations. And me as a farmer, guys, the regulations and government is what's killing the American farmer. Well, I'm going to talk about that Friday night, but you won't see any posts for a while because people have flagged some of my historic posts, some of the news articles. But libertarians are against age of consent laws. Not all libertarians. That's simply not true. I certainly believe that there is an age of consent and am against any form of adult abuse over children in any way, shape, or form. So that's just like in the Democratic and the Republican Party, you have different levels and different ideas and things. You get that in the Libertarian Party too. Wish he'd run as a Libertarian. Can't support anyone running Dem or Republican. Robbie, amen to that. Farmers are utterly dependent on subsidies from the government. That's the problem. But here's a fact about that, folks. Farmers can opt out of that system of subsidies and government support if the model that they're working in supports it. I am independent. I run a CSA, direct, farmer to customer, okay? But most of the farming, when you're talking big A, dairy, wheat, big stuff, it's heavily regulated and it is not remotely capitalist at all. The prices are fixed. It has been since the 1930s. It's subsidized. So they're working in more of a communist, socialist type platform. If you don't think it is, you don't know nothing about farming. It is. I would like it if the dairy farmer could go to the businesses and say, my milk is $2 a gallon. They get paid per 100-pound weight. And on average, a good per 100-pound weight on a dairy farm is anywhere from $19 to $24. I've never seen it that high, but that would be an ideal weight. But on average, the farmers per 100 pounds of milk is getting paid between $14 and $16 an hour, which, if you knew the cost of feed, if you knew the cost to produce, you would know that they're barely breaking even. They're just above board. The mass amount of the profits go to the corporations which they sell for. Now, I can tell you why the market is as it is and that they cannot sell their milk at a price point that is best for them to keep up and running. It's because we have corporate farms and corporate dairies who flood the market with cheap milk, 10,000, 20,000 cow dairies. So what they do is they flood the market with milk. And they, of course, by flooding the market with milk, and because they predominantly are the people that are getting the subsidies, it's the big guys, and they can't fall. They've been propped up so they can't fall. They drive the price of milk down and they force the small farmer out who cannot produce cheap because they're not taking the mass subsidies. They force them out of business. It's government in bed with corporations that is killing the family American farmer. So it sounds like your problem is with the corporations, not with government. We deserve... Well, it is government as well, because the government needs to step out of it. The government controls the market. It's the government, by pushing the subsidies, is controlling the price points. So it's a multifaceted issue here. It's corporations in bed. It's corporatism. It's government in bed with corporations that is killing this family farm. That's the problem. So, yes, the corporations are paying for government overreach. So here's an example. We had a gentleman in our area who has been farming for many years. It was about 15 years ago he put in a great stainless steel piping system and milk system, which is considered grade A. It passed all the safety standards and everything. Well, all of a sudden, the USDA comes with this new regulation. It funnels through down to the state level, and the inspector comes in and says, "Oh, We just decided you have to have these new couplings, you have to have this new pipe made from blah, blah, blah. You either get this fixed within 3 months or we're shutting you down. Never mind. This is a small family farmer. He is milking 75 to 100 cows, very small farm. He can't afford the $15,000 to $25,000 to put the new piping in. So guess what happened? He worked the next 3 months until they came out, and he had to shut down his farm. It was government regulation that was pushed, okay, by the lobbying parties through the corporations, and it funneled down. It either becomes dictatorship or it gets corrected. And so many of the system have been, yes, you know. So the what I'm trying to do at our level is get a governor in there that tells the feds, we're done. We're done with your Marxist communist dictates from the DC. The USDA, well, some regulations are good. I mean, some regulations keep people from getting sick, right? They keep, food regulations and things like that. There's safety regulations, but a lot of it we don't need. So that's the deal. What I am encouraging people to do, and see, here in Wisconsin, it's very hard for dairy farmers to even get out of that system because you have to pay thousands and thousands. Thank you for the gift. Thank you. Thousands and thousands of dollars just to set your farm up to sell direct. Farms are starting to do that. But if you got to pay $500,000 or $1 million for a facility upgrade to sell direct to farmer, most people can't do that. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult. They box you into a corner. The organic farmers, a lot of them are going out of business. Why? Because the system is pushing them to produce more and more and more to keep up with the corporate farms, to keep up with the Canadian milk that's coming in here that's not supposed to be milk coming in here. All of us farmers know about it. It's coming in through Lake Superior into Michigan. And farmers in Michigan have talked about it too. And so there is illegal milk from another country coming in here that's not supposed to be coming in here. That doesn't help matters either. The role of government is to protect the people's individual rights, not regulate the economy. Amen. It's about individual rights. That's not about the rights of the majority or the minority. It's about the rights of the individual. Neither majority can control the minority or the minority, the masses, and they can't control the individuals. It's always about the individual. Protection only hurts the price of milk. It does. And, it goes the same for beef. There's a lot of regulations. Farmers should be able to have the customers, come to their farms and say, hey, I want that cow back there. And there are mobile processors that will come directly to the farm, and they will slaughter on the farm. They'll basically put down the animal, clean it out, quarter it up, and they'll take it to their facility. A lot of states are trying to make that illegal. You can't have somebody come, like here in Wisconsin, we got a huge Hmong culture. And they're great people, hard workers. They like to go to farms and buy a pig or a cow, have you use your tractor, lift it, and they like to process it themselves. If you get caught allowing them to do that on your farm, the government will shut you down. It's really no business. There is absolutely no food threat. It's a private engagement in commerce, and the person who's buying and doing it takes the responsibility for their food safety on themselves. The U.S. government is not supposed to be in bed with the corporation. It's not. And that's called corporatism. And that is our biggest threat that we have here in America to farmers. And I also think that that's honestly one of the reasons, why I'm temporarily banned from making posts. I can obviously go live, thankfully, but because I've been saying things that people don't like. I'm going to give you a little tidbit of information right now, guys. I tried posting this. Yes, definitely stand up, fight back, take your countries back. I actually feel, I'm a Christian. I believe all things work together for the glory of God who believe. So even all this chaos that's happening in America right now, God can work it out for His glory and for people who believe and have faith that things can get better. Balkanization, maybe it's not such a bad deal. Maybe it's not such a bad deal. We're being balkanized, actively being destabilized and balkanized. But I think what's going to happen is I do think the federal government's going to split. I think the union's going to split. The states will, in the next, 3, 5, 10 years, try to push for succession. And when that happens, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a bad thing. I believe the corporatism will stop. But that's where you guys need to prepare because, sorry about that, guys. When the states push for that and they decide they're going to opt out, because see, here's the thing. The entire union hinges on the right to consent, all right? We consent to be governed over. If we can't consent to governance, then we're not free, then we're slaves, then we're servants, okay? And right now, a lot of people are saying, I do not consent, and the federal government is telling you don't have an option. That's what happened during the Civil War. The South didn't consent. If you're a student of history, you know that's how it started. The South wanted to succeed, and it was about succession. Thank God, slavery was abolished through the whole thing, but initially did not start that way. It was about succession. And when the states this time start to succeed, it will be the federal government and corporations that fight to stop it, because the corporations know that when that happens, the people are going to take back their power. So get ready, be prepared. Things are going to start snapping. And I'm not here to tell you I'm on the left or the right. I'm not. Like I said, I'm a Christian libertarian. I believe in freedom. I believe in deregulation, very limited government, very limited. Something is coming, and it's going to be a great upset. Yes, a great upset or reset, as they're calling it. The military will make sure the country stays sorry. And it says, look at the succession declaration documents with about slavery and not success. I'll have to look into it. You're not pro-choice. I bet my life on it. Let me explain to you why I'm not pro-choice. Because there's two individuals involved in the act of abortion. Two individuals. There is the woman and there is the baby in the womb. Two individuals. And here in these United States, you have the right to your liberty and your freedom up until the point you harm or trample on somebody else's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Therefore, you don't have the right to kill the baby in your womb. Your neighbor doesn't have the legal right to come over and rape and kill you. That is illegal because it is immoral and it is wrong. That goes to the same for abortion. No, it's not a clump of cells. It's not. That's you. You believe in science, and your science is your religion, and you can have that stance. That's fine. But for me and mine, we believe life is at conception. And that is why we stand on what we stand on. We stand on the truth. Go ahead and laugh. Go ahead. And you're welcome. You know what? The God I serve is a God of free will. But in the end, everybody will answer for their crimes. And it's people like us that stand up for the innocent that can't speak are always the ones persecuted and laughed at like you are. You're a mocker. And one day soon you will find out that your mockery is going to come back to bite you in the butt. And Christian. Yeah, I am a Christian. But you know what? I believe in freedom, free choice. You can live how you want to live. I ask that you don't flag my channel, my TikTok, because guess what? You can come here and we can debate and we can have dissent and we can respect each other. But this is what I started with at the beginning of my conversation. I got flagged because people don't like what I'm saying. People want to shut you. Oh, stop with the Karen nonsense. Oh my gosh. Whatever. I really don't care what you think about me. But the fact of the matter is if you can't go on somebody's platform without flagging them and saying you can't say that, you're anti-American. You're anti-freedom. You are the fascist. I welcome people to come talk with me, to have dissent, and let's debate. But let's be responsible. Let's be respectful. Because see, when I grew up, when I was a kid, I remember the Black Panthers and the KKK marching down the same streets together. I remember seeing the parades. And not anybody I knew liked either one of them. Maybe they were misunderstood, what have you. We don't like what these people stood for. But we all said we would fight for their right to do it. Because in this country, free speech reigns supreme. As long as you don't hurt anybody, talk is talk. It doesn't hurt you. It may offend you, but you're not hurt. And you don't have a right to stop other people from speaking. I'm trying to keep up with the comments here, guys. I apologize if I'm not acknowledging all of them. They're going pretty fast. Where did you watch that? I'm actually up in Wisconsin, and back in the early 90s, there was quite a few rallies in Madison and Chicago and Milwaukee and that area, and it was all over the news. One time, even in a local small town, there was a small, I remember being very young at the time, and everybody hated, they had the hoods on, they were walking through. We didn't like it. We didn't like what they stood for, but they were allowed to do it because in this country, you have the right to free speech. You have the right to that. And I would fight for anybody's right. You know what? I may have not agreed with everything that happened last summer with they called them rallies. Most of them were riots, especially the ones that happened in Wisconsin. But if it was peaceful and they were all peaceful as they should have been, I would have fight for those people's right to gather and rally and unite. That's what we should be doing. We should be coming around freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of liberty, life, liberty, and happiness. Not about these social, religious, personal, private, distractions. She's still laughing. She's a joke, so she's gonna get black. If, people that just come on here and laugh, I bet you didn't have the same outrage in January. When, on January 6th, I thought January 6th was stupid. I thought it was stupid. I thought anybody that went there that day was buying into a huge psyop. And, there's a Bible verse that says, be as wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. And that wasn't wisdom to even go to that thing. And there was things that Trump said that riled those people up to do what they did. I'm not saying he was leading an insurrection. I'm not going to go that far, but he did say some inflammatory things and things got out of hand. But I will also say this. When we had here in Kenosha, Wisconsin, we had the riots, homes, businesses, people died. There was a family that was upstairs above a business that burnt to death. They died during the, quote, peaceful protest, which was a riot, okay? The very least we'll say about the people that were there for Trump is they went to the Capitol, they went to the government to take up their problems. They didn't go burn down people's homes and businesses. That's the difference. Proverbs 1:3-7-9 is my favorite scripture. There you go. Why are Americans still talking about, gotta go back, the U.S. president? That's the thing. Like, I'm going to live in the present. I'm not going back to talk about him, but we always go back because the left and right like to fight about that. Both sides got sin and both sides got evil. Both sides got some good. And, sorry about that, guys. I forgot to shut off my notifications. They rubbed blank on the walls. They rubbed crap on. I didn't know that. But I also do believe that whoever was a part of that has the right to a attorney, due process, and I hear that there's some things going on with that aren't exactly kosher. They're doing it under under the war laws and things like that. I have to look more into it, but I've been hearing some things that there's like 6 people still sitting in jail that haven't had any due process, and we have the right to due process, a speedy court case before our jury of our peers. So that's not right either. This feels like Q to me, and I'm not a Q person, guys. That thing was a huge psyop too. That was just a bunch of nonsense. That's why I stay out of that kind of stuff. And Antifa did a lot, and I believe that they were a part of it too. I believe both sides get infiltrated, and then there's the normal people in the middle that sit there and they get the brunt of what the idiots did. Yeah, absolutely. Due process, how fast should it be? Due process should be fast enough that the individual's life does not get disturbed, that they can go back to work without losing their job. That was the intention of the founders. AM Leptic says Antifa was not behind January 6th. I'm not saying they were behind it. I'm saying maybe there was a few people in there that were agitators. That's a possibility. I can't say that we can say 100% that they weren't and 100% they are. Buzz, you need to stop watching TV and believe spoon-fed propaganda. Dressed up as, dressing up as the opposite or your enemies is a historical fact. Even the colonists dressed up like French Native Americans and went after the British to make the British think that it was Native Americans attacking them and not the colonists. It's some. I'm not saying I agree with it or not, but it's something people do in war. So, but I'm getting off a little off topic. But I really want to encourage you all to stand for free speech, guys. Whether you agree with me or whether, even if you don't agree, if you got some women on here that are pro-abortion and they are saying, hey, I believe in free choice, don't be flagging them. If you're a Christian, pray for them, but don't be flagging them. They have the right to their speech. They have a right to say what they want to write. I have a right to say I'm against it. We all have that, and it is a God-given right whether you believe in that or not. I think until the trolls, the fascist trolls on social media stop this. I think that, that's one of the things. If we don't keep these platforms up and open to dissent and open to the conversations from both sides, guys, when this goes down, when the internet goes down, that's when you really know you're in trouble. That's how I say, people say, well, what are we going to do? When are we going to do it? When this all disappears, guys, that's really when we're in trouble. Freedom of speech means exactly that. You have the freedom to say what you want and believe. And that's it. That's it. Now, I can't go around, accusing somebody of falsehood and bearing false witness. All right, I can't do that. We don't have the freedom of speech to make false accusations and call people thieves or whatever if they've not, we don't have that freedom. But we can espouse our beliefs and all that. Why do people always dismiss opposing views as trolls? No, I'm not saying that opposing views are trolls. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the people that come on the platform that argue with you and then flag you and they say I'm reporting you, those are the trolls. Those are the true fascists. That's happened to me numerous times in 1 week. I made a post about eugenics in the United States during the 1920s and the fact that our Supreme Court actually voted for eugenics. And there was over 70,000 men, women, and even children that were made infertile, that were made sterile under the eugenics program in the United States through the authorization of the Supreme Court. Posted this. It was very simple. Speech and historical information on that. And somebody flagged me and got it taken down. There was nothing, there was no falsehood in it. It's all very documented. And I had received personal questions in my question thing about it. I was being told they didn't like it there because it showed that white people were victims of eugenics. believe it or not, I don't know why people think like this, but some people think that there's only people of color have been victims of this process of eugenics. And that's just simply not true. All races, all colors, all creeds have been harmed and victimized by that evil. And I post just as many historical facts about people of color that have been harmed by eugenics. You look down my page, I don't even know if you can see it now anymore. I've got, it says U.S. sanctioned horrific human experiments. Look through that. I've got the Tuskegee trials in there. I've got women that were pregnant during World War II that were tested on with their babies for radiation and just everything. So guys, we need to keep these platforms up and going. So I just, unless somebody is calling to harm others or whatever, obviously that's something you need to report. But free speech, good free speech, dissenting views, we need this. God, dissenting views and a tit for tat and debate is what America was founded on. So the lunatic fridge must be given no corner. And that's another thing. I do have that flag. No quarter means to the true enemy, guys. The true enemies that are coming to steal your freedoms, your liberty, your rights. That's who we give no quarter to. Those are the people. Yes, I have my truth and knowledge. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up because I have to do chores here. I have cows. I have baby cows that need to be fed here. Do you want to see my baby cows, guys? I don't know if I can turn. Maybe I can. Oh, I don't think I can. Here. Now, guys, I work on a 200-cow dairy farm. I milk, but these are the babies that that need some love and they need to be fed. They're sweetie pies. They're sweetie pies. Right now, the price of calves is really low, so most of the farms are giving their baby calves away for people that want to raise them out, and that's what we do here. We feed them, we raise them, and love them and respect them while we have them. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Maybe tomorrow night I will go live again. But please, if I had one word to leave you with tonight, respect each other. Respect each other's freedoms, freedom of thought, and right to speak it, and right to be on a platform. All these social media platforms without people flagging each other, and like the lady earlier with the laugh. It's not funny. If all you can do is laugh at somebody, it means you're not a critical thinker. You can't debate. You're not intellectual. You don't have and it's not even about formal education, but you don't have the ability to articulate your side of an argument. So you sound like a cult leader. Oh, Jesus. There's another one. There is another one. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, all right, guys, God bless you all. You guys have a great night. Love your families. Cherish each other. And we'll talk soon. God bless.